Hi, I'm Derek Fung, and in this video we're taking a look at the Toyota FJ Cruiser. Now before you ask, this isn't an escapee from the set of Cars 2. It's actually a retro-style vehicle in the same vein as the new Beetle and the new Mini. Thankfully though, it's got more in common with the latter than the former, and that's because while it apes an older car's style, it actually keeps much of that car's original purpose and functionality as well. So what car are we talking of? Well, it's the FJ40 Land Cruiser, which made its name in Australia thanks to the Snowy Mountains scheme. That car was a two-door four-wheel drive, while the FJ Cruiser that we have here is actually a four-door, but it's not a conventional four-door. You see, the rear doors are smaller and they're hinged backwards, much like an RX-8's. So you actually have to open the front doors and then pop a latch and then open the back doors before you can get into the rear seats. Many of the truly off-road capable four-wheel drives that ply the roads today are luxury vehicles, so there's carpet, leather and tons of other things that you'd rather not get dirty. The FJ Cruiser, on the other hand, is a rather more honest and rugged four-wheel drive vehicle, and that's because the interior features no carpet at all. Instead, it's got rubberized plastic floors and the seats are made from this breathable quick-dry material. So if it all gets a bit too dirty and dusty on the inside, you could theoretically just hose it all out. At the car's exterior, the dashboard looks big and cartoony, but even here, Sense and Sensibility reigns, and that's because all of the controls apart from the stereo head unit are made to be big and chunky. Everything from the gear lever to the air conditioning controls are done this way so that you can operate them even if you're wearing big, fat, heavy winter gloves. On the features front, the FJ comes in just one specification that features air conditioning, cruise control, a compass and altimeter on the dashboard, automatic dimming rear view mirrors, and electric windows. The rear glass can also open independently of the rear tailgate, and all exterior colors feature a contrasting white roof. The stereo is one we've seen in many Toyotas previously, and it features a 4.3-inch non-touchscreen. Entertainment options include iPod connectivity via USB and auxiliary jack, AM/FM analog radio, a 6-stack CD player, and Bluetooth for both hands-free and audio streaming. There is one little difference though, and that's the 7th speaker, which uses the ceiling headlining as its diaphragm. Now this is meant to give you an immersive nightclub-like sound, and when we were told this, we had a little bit of a chuckle. But the thing is, it does actually sound a little bit like a nightclub because the stereo system isn't high on fidelity and produces a really big, bassy, muddy sound, which is kind of like a nightclub. Earlier this year, we drove the FJ Cruiser in its natural element at the base of the Flinders Ranges in South Australia, and there it truly reigns supreme. The car's got a part-time four-wheel drive system which can be shifted between high range 2 and 4-wheel drive on the fly. You can also shift it into low range 4-wheel drive, but you should probably be at a standstill when you do that. The FJ doesn't have some of the electronic 4-wheel drive off-road aids that the bigger Prado and Land Cruiser siblings have, but this doesn't mean that it's any less capable off-road. And that's because this car has shorter front and rear overhangs, so the departure and approach angles are actually better than some of its siblings. The FJ uses the frame and many of its parts from the Prado. Now that car, when you drive it on road, feels like you're handling a bowl of aeroplane jelly. Thankfully, the engineers at Toyota have sorted out some of the handling issues, and the FJ feels more tied down and a lot more car-like. Vision out of the FJ isn't fantastic, especially over the shoulder. There's a big blind spot there. So it's a good thing that the car's fitted with a reversing camera, parking sensors, and very large upright wing mirrors. Another thing that's very large and upright is the windscreen. It's actually very wide but not very tall, so it actually necessitates the use of 3 windscreen wipers. Now when you're driving on a highway, it doesn't feel very aerodynamic and there's a lot of wind noise from the car. For Australia-bound FJs, there's only one transmission and engine choice available, and that's a 5-speed automatic paired with a 4-litre V6 engine. Now, this engine produces about 200 kilowatts of power and 380 newton meters of torque, so both on the road and off it, there's plenty of power and torque available. But if you're an off-road aficionado and you really want to hit the outback for days, weeks and months on end, the lack of a diesel option really is a sticking point, and there's no getting around it, unfortunately. We like the FJ Cruiser on a number of grounds, and the first of which is it shows that Toyota's serious about making cars with a bit of personality in them. Secondly, it's a big, tough, honest four-wheel drive that's very capable off the road. There's only one caveat with it though, and that's the cold hard numbers, which mean that it can't come with a diesel engine, which will rule it out for many four-wheel drive aficionados. I'm Derek Fung, and this has been SeeNet Australia's look at the Toyota FJ Cruiser.